Gunstocks joining us. Dusty, how you doing, man?
Good, Don. How are you all this morning?
Well, we're doing pretty good. I'm really excited to have your input. You and I have talked, about the Weatherby that I'm working on. I've got the Boyd Gunstocks.com up. I've got the configure portion keyed up for the Weatherby Vanguard. And one of the things I hope to do is talk about the new At-One stock that is just a stellar stock. It's got adjustable cheek piece, the adjustable butt on it, so on and so forth. So for my rifle, I've chosen a thumb hole configuration. So if you would, walk us down the quality construction of your hardwood stocks. I want to talk about the some of the nuances, the four-post bedding pillars that are available, the adjustable cheek pad, so on and so forth. So take it away for us.
All right, good deal. Yeah, it's as you said, nothing ever fits right, or that your buttstock's got to fit right. And we had that. I was down in Texas last week and hunting with a few different people, and we had that At-One there, and it was so nice as like a target animal came up, and we were able to just swap seats rather than go to the cases, drag out the guns and stuff. That we could just swap seats, push a couple buttons, and then it went from a stock that fit me, who I'm like 6'6", and something to my wife, who's like 5'3" or something like that.
Wow.
So it's really nice, and then we can shoot the same setup, and it's real quick, and you don't have to do a lot of movement to scare animals away or get comfortable or anything like that. It's just pretty quick. But yeah, all of our stuff, wood stocks. We only make wood stocks, wood and laminates, and we've brought it a long way since the 70s and 80s when wood really kind of fell out of vogue because it was just bad at the time. There was just so many people out there doing it, and there was very little quality controls, and everybody was just making gun stocks in their garage. But now it's more of a scientific approach. It's really scientific, actually, that some of our woods, it takes 18 months from the time they fell that tree until it's ready to be made a gun stock, just so we can dry it.
No kidding. Boy, that is yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, just to make sure that it dries properly, because if you start drying it too fast or in different weird climates and stuff like that, it could start, that's where they would get the warping and bending and cracking and twisting. So we just take it really, really slowly and get it down, and once it's at the target thing is kind of when we lock it into a gun stock. And then once we seal it with all our finishes, it doesn't move anymore. So all of our inlets are CNC'd, so everything, your gun is going to fit in there the way it should. We work with many manufacturers, so we have their blueprints and their guns and their sketches and everything around, so we can do it. With a little caveat to that, some of those old military rifles, considering they're a war implement, weren't always built the same. They were built at a time of necessity, so some of those stocks take a little bit of fitting and a little bit of hand manipulation to get them in there just right, just because those foundries they had one goal on their mind, is keep our soldiers in the fight. So,
yeah, I get it.
But most modern stuff like that Weatherby you got is, oh man, we've made hundreds of thousands of Weatherby, so we know what that looks like. But all of our stuff CNC, so that Weatherby should just drop right in, 2 screws. I mean, I have a handful of videos on the internet where I'll do it under 2 minutes. I'll take a new person, have them put it in under 2 minutes. Super simple. Barrels are always free floated. That's a tenet of accuracy, is just making sure that barrel is free floated. So once you put it in, do the old dollar bill trick down the barrel to make sure she's floated. And the At-One specifically has a push button for the length of pull. So a lot of people don't know their length of pull, or if you do know your length of pull.
Well, first of all, Dusty, describe what that is.
Length of pull, cool.
Yeah, Mark's sitting over here and he's got a glazed look on his eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I got too technical. Sorry, Mark. Length of pull is from the end of the butt pad to the trigger. And if you have longer arms and like a longer neck and head, You need that longer so your head can be in the right spot for the scope is the key component to that. So you can look through the scope. So most everybody has grabbed the gun and you got to move your head around to get the sights and the scope in the right spot. Like the pole helps get rid of that. It gets the scope the right distance from your face.
I'm just hoping that the scope doesn't tattoo me in the eye.
That's exactly my next thing I was going to say.
There you go.
Most of you have probably gotten yourself right between the bridge of the eyes, where I have many, many times because I'm so tall. And that's kind of where we went into this. Even as a stock maker, I could make my own, but it's great when I have my gun in my situation, but if I would borrow someone else's, it wouldn't work. So this @1 is you can push a button and you can extend that butt pad out like 1.5 inches, but sometimes even further with some additional, like an additional component gets you another 1.5 inches. But it's just as simple as you can push a button on the side of the stock, hold it, and you can slide that stock out and put, so it gets that scope away from your eye. Or if you're smaller or shorter arms or stocky or whatever it may be, you can collapse it so you can get your head up to the scope so you can get a nice field of view through that scope.
Dusty, how much adjustment does the butt plate have?
I think it's about 1.5 inches. I think
Okay.
it's about 1.5 inches that comes standard with it. If you need longer, we do sell an additional length of pole, which gives you another 1.5 inches. For most people, that's just too long, so we didn't really build that in. Myself, I just start to use the extended length of pole. So, but everybody else is, or everything shorter fits in there. So it doesn't seem like much to the average shooter, but like Mark said, if you get tattooed in the head with that scope,
Bam.
you wish you would have had a 1/4 inch more, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that puts a damper on when you're coming up. That really puts a damper on hunting the first time you go out with your dad's odd 6, and you're freaking ringing upstairs for the next 1.5 weeks, and it looks like Mike Tyson caught you with the left hook.
Yeah, it sounds like you went with me on one of my first. Sounds like you went with one of me on one of my first trips. It was a 270 though. Got in the back, last light, shooting in, pop, blooded, and looked at my buddy, and he just went, "Oh my goodness!" And there's blood pouring down my face, and I was like, "All right, well, let's not do that again."
That's too funny.
Exactly.
Let me ask you a question.
This was Tim Rafferty, Dustin.
Yeah, Dustin, as far as you had mentioned about drying the wood and so forth, I've been working with wood most of my life, and the shrinkage and expansion of joints when you're building table and furnitures and so forth, are your stocks set up in such a way that the shrinkage during the wintertime and the expansion during the summertime, that doesn't affect it mechanically and so forth?
No, it really doesn't. We get it down to just a certain percentage that we have found has the least variability from season to season.
Okay.
So we just get to that point, and then so we free float the barrel. So that gives us a little bit of room just in case it does move a little bit.
Right,
We're still
right.
functionally everything okay, but the most important part of all of that is our finishes, our coatings that we put on, or our urethanes, for lack of a better term, is we get that in all the areas of it. So we have effectively stopped the movement of humidity in and out, or very greatly minimalized it. So
Right, by sealing
like a lot
it
of
and
people.
so forth.
I'm so glad you guys
So
are
if we
talking
look at a
about
table,
guns.
so if we look at a table leg, like you said, or furniture, some furniture makers forget to seal the bottom of the leg. And that is where the moisture comes and starts moving in and out. So it's no different than a gun stock. The end of that, we make sure we get all 360 degree and all the little angles and everything, and spray it to just seal it up.
It's the small details that make it a success.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I've
it
got,
absolutely
I
is.
was telling Tim, I've got the predecessor to this @1 with the adjustable cheek stock, and it did things for that M77 that, it's great. It's great. And I've had no issues with it at all.
Yep, I remember when we did that one. Yeah, our new one is the Agility is the name of it. So we kind of just took the same good components from the @1, which is the adjustable length of pull, and we just made it a little more modern. So our take on that was there's all these classic and very traditional sporting gun stocks out there that everybody knows just by saying that. Everybody can picture dad or granddad's gun. And I just wanted to take that and put a modern twist on it, put a little more modern lines on it, lighten it up a little bit as much as we can with wood, but still creating that perfect functionality of being able to make it fit you and make it fit your rifle.
Okay, so in on your website, what we've done today is we've picked the wood, we've picked the finish, we've picked the length of pull. The next item up is the real recoil pad. What are the details on your recoil pad?
Oh, so a recoil pad, they all come standard with like a half-inch rubber pad. To get, if you're shooting a big Magnum, so if you're shooting a 300 Weatherby, I'm going to consider that a big Magnum. That can knock your fillings out if not done right. So we offer a 1-inch pad. Some of our rifles we offer Packmeyer Limb Saver Kickies.
Nice.
For the agility in the @1, we honed in on. We worked with Kickies and made our own pad. So Kickies is a very nice pad.
Oh yeah, I've got that on the M77. Yeah, Kickies pads.
Yep.
Awesome.
So I'm watching Don's
it's a
computer
beautiful
screen right now. Is that an M77 which you have up right there?
This is for the Weatherby 300 mag.
What's the difference?
A whole bunch.
Talk to me.
It's kind of like saying.
Okay,
Kinda like
you
saying the
guys
difference between
hang on. We'll pick that up after. Dusty, hang with us.
All
We've
right.
got to do a quick business session here on Fox Sports 910. Take it.
Hey, it's Donovan McNabb.
Okay, Dusty from Boyd Gunstocks is with us, and we're right in the middle of a configuration for a 300 Weatherby. And Dusty, we were talking about recoil pads, and you and Mark had some dialogue going, so you guys want to pick that up?
Yeah. Kind of the question was, what's the difference between the 77 Mark II and the Weatherby? And it's kind of from a gun standpoint, and someone that's deep into it, like we are, is it's like asking someone. Well, a lot of people have had this. What's the difference between a Ford and a Chevy? Like a lot of people have asked people, what kind of car do you have? Well, I drive a blue 4-door.
Okay,
That
nice.
could be 100 different things. For us, each gun is completely different. And so a blue 4-door car and then a blue 4-door truck is completely different, except for the number of doors and the colors. So from us, the first things we really need to know when you come to our website, and Don was already a step ahead of that, is knowing what gun you have. Whatever's generally on the side of your gun, it'll say Weatherby, Ruger, Winchester, Marlin, whatever it may be, and then some numbers or a model name. That's where you find it, and that's how it gets started to get where these guys are at into this configurator. To then start to build your own is knowing what gun you have.
Okay, so we're at we kind of left off the recoil pad. What button do I push to increase the get away from the standard rubber recoil pad that you offer? Say if I want to go to a 1-inch, how do I do that?
On most of them, you can just click right there. It gives an option that @1 thumb hole. Actually, when you go through the checkout, it's going to ask you there if you want it.
Okay.
Because it's an additional accessory. The other one, where because that one is easy to change, so we kept the cost a little lower and just said, here, customer, now you can swap them back and forth. Some of the other gun stocks, we have to put them on just to make sure they're right. So that's why. If there's no choice,
the next thing I'm going to skip over the laser engraving. We'll get back to that. Talk to us about the pillar bedding posts.
So pillar bedding is it just helps bring some consistency, and this isn't a solely to wood. They also do it in many plastics. Most of your high end competition rifle stocks put pillars in. It's a little piece of metal between the top and the bottom of the gun that helps you just get a consistent measurement at a time. Because when you're starting to go for accuracy and consistent accuracy out past, say, 1,000 yards or 500 yards,
yeah,
it's the details that matter. So those pillars really they're put inside the stock. We do that. Really allows you to tighten that stock down the same every time with your torque wrench. So
okay.
You're not over tightening and under tightening.
All right, I'm an accuracy freak, So I'm going to click the pillar bedding, and I'm going to go up here and
Yep.
I'm going to double click that, and that's added to my base price. And I'm going to see what else. The laser engraving is wow, pretty amazing. You got a lot of stuff up there.
Yeah, we got a lot of different engravings. That's just really, it has some function. It's good for contact of your hands and holding onto it, but it's also a great way just to put in some style. If you're making a traditional gun stock and you want some of the traditional checkerings and engravings, awesome. We can do that. If you want something a little more modern, we can do that. Sometimes you can put initials on them. So if you want to make it yours, or little pictures, like a deer skull or whatever on the side.
Sure.
So it's just a way to kind of personalize it and make your own and just fit your style.
Well, the only thing we haven't talked about, that's all good. I don't think I'm going to go for that particular feature, but you do have about 14 different color variations for the stock itself, all the way from some pretty conventional walnut stocks to the zombie killer, the lime green and black. Oh my gosh!
Yep. There's just that's just a style thing. All of the woods are very similar. The laminates are a little more robust, just because they're multiple pieces of wood glued together. So they're just a tick heavier, but they're a lot more stable than even the walnuts, which we've already talked about is stable. But that comes down to that is 100% what's your style. Some people like to be nice and classic, and some people just want to be wild with bright orange or blues, so that's just totally whatever you want to show off.
Yep, that's pretty cool. Well, I'm pretty fond of the what do you call it? The coyote laminate is a pretty good looking. Let me ask you this: what's your best seller? What's most popular in this at one?
It's really tough to tell, because it's just the person that coyote is up there, because that one kind of goes from the classic style where it's just brown, but that little bit of white in there just tricks it up just a little bit, just adds a little bit of flair to it. So that one is super popular. The traditionals, just like straight black and straight brown, nutmeg and pepper, those are great too. As you get to the more of the unique colors, now you're getting a little more specialized. Not everybody likes orange, not everybody likes blue, not everybody likes green.
And you've got the Whoopi Goldberg color purple in here too. That's nice.
yeah. So it's just the more traditional colors are more common, just because it's a lot of people's first step into the build. That's their first one. Then as they start to build more and more, now they're tricking it up and showing their buddies how wild they can get.
Absolutely fascinating. Actually, I'm pretty fond of this forest camo laminate for basically doing what I do.
Yep, it's good. It breaks it up, and if you're out in the woods or hunting a little bit too, it does break it up enough that it's not a solid piece, and it looks classy. The different pieces of laminates kind of make some cool lines in the gun stock and stuff. It's pretty sexy color.
Okay, all right. So cost is with you guys is certainly reasonable. In my mind, I'm looking at a custom stock for the 300 Weatherby Vanguard, under $300. You can't beat that.
Mm-hmm. No, it was the founder's father told him when he was 20 years old that if you make a good product at a reasonable price, you will always have business. And that is through our 41 years of business, that has always stayed with us, as our founder has now retired and we've taken over. That it's just, everybody goes, you can make more. I'd be like, yeah, maybe, but I'd rather just meet a bunch of cool people and get some people shooting right and just make a living for everybody that works at that plant.
Well,
everything is reason.
last time we talked, there are some pretty high end stocks out there that, you know, I can't, I'm not going to badmouth any of them, but when you're looking at paying anywhere from $1,500 to $3,000 for a stock, personally I have to question that. And
Yeah, it's tough. A lot of those stocks are really nice, and I'm
yeah.
a big supporter of those companies, but that's not for the average person.
No.
And that is just.
Yeah, one of the things I can tell you, I will take, not gonna or woulda, coulda, shoulda. I put my 300, or not the 300, the 30-06 up against these $8,000-$10,000 custom rifles, and I do just fine, Dusty. With
I do the same
Boyd
thing.
stock.
When chassis were just starting to become super popular, we bought at our shop a rifle with a $2,000 chassis on it. As the whole setup was $2,000. I bought a $400 Ruger, and I put that @1 stock on it, and at 1,200 yards, and they're both 6.5 Creedmoor, 1,200 yards, I was hanging with this $2,000 semi-custom rifle that I'm just like, that's not a problem. I'd rather have this. Mine looks cooler. And
yeah, absolutely.
Functions the same way.
Okay, so folks, here it is. Check out Boyd's Gunstocks. What we did today, out the door is $289. There's a shipping fee and all that kind of stuff on there. So you can take, like Dusty's talking about, you take a stock out of the box, mediocre gun, and turn it into a custom rifle that fits your length of pull, fits your cheek configuration, and what more can you say, Dusty?
And on that is just in the world where everything is back ordered and taking a billion years to get, is we're still focusing on taking care of our customers. That our products ship in about a week or 2 weeks, and
Wow.
we make everything to order. So when you order, Don, when you push buy on there, within on Monday morning they're going to walk into the plant, and that's on the floor. There's a tag that says Don McDowell, and it's going to send it through the process. It takes about a week or two, and then we just ship it. So I mean, we're a little bit longer than we'd like to be. We'd like to be a week, but we're about a week to 2 right now, but we're still just getting it out as quick as we can to you guys.
Okay, I'm going to hit this button this afternoon and send it to you.
Awesome, sir. We'll go watching for it.
Okay, Dusty, how many more shows do you have left in your season?
Oh, a couple more, but they keep falling out. We were supposed to go to Germany in a couple weeks. That one looks like it's going to fall apart, so it's still a COVID world, but we're doing what we can do. So I appreciate you guys taking the time to talk to me. It's nice to be able to get to talk to some of these people that I'm not able to see this year.
Well, anytime you need the airtime, we're huge Boyd stock fans. You're welcome here anytime. It fits with who we are, what we do, and why we do it.
Awesome. I appreciate you guys so much.
All right, check them out. We're going to wish you the best of the rest.
Well,
one of the cool things, Jared, when you get on Dusty's website, they've got 13 or 14 different colors of laminates in this thing.
Beautiful website.
Yeah, I mean, you too can have a pink one if you want. It's called Blackjack. Check it out.
How'd you know my color, Don?
Yeah. Yeah, like 14 colors of laminate. I think there's 6 types of walnut and 3 types of maple, and there's a lot of choices out there. So yeah, we're adding new guns as well. So if you go there and you don't see something for the gun you're looking for, man, we're always adding. So I think we're adding a new CZ rifle this week. Last week we added a custom rifle, a custom builder out of Texas that I'm a big fan of, Curtis Customs there. So we made our inletting for that. So now people that buy a custom rifle can just come and get a stock that fits them. And so every week or every couple of weeks we're adding a new gun. We're working on a couple shotguns right now. So sign up for that email blast, because when we get something new, we put it out there.
Oh yeah.
And we could count even how much new stuff we put out, because it's just constantly, we're always adding something. We want to get something out there for everybody.
Okay, and then I understand you have a wooden stock for an AR platform. Tell me about that real quick.
We do. So it's just an AR. It's a pretty niche thing, but it looks pretty darn cool when done correctly. So my favorite's walnut. We still do the laminates, but it's an A2 style buttstock, so it's not collapsible. It looks kind of static length there, but then it's a 2-piece handguard on there, so it does take the D ring or the Delta ring to put on there. It's not free float, but it's unique. If you Google pictures on there, you'll see them. There's some that are done super, super well. I mean, it's not for everybody, but it really looks cool. So some of those guys are like, man, I like the function of an AR or a modern sporting rifle, but I kind of like the wood and the classic look. This absolutely does it. It takes what you just see as a traditional AR or modern sporting rifle and makes it like a showpiece. I mean, there's some of them that are really, really cool. We did a red, white, and blue one with an AR builder a couple months ago.
I appreciate you guys coming down. Give us a rundown real quick once again. Where are you located? When are you going to be open? You going to have a website?
Yes, we do. We already have our website. It's just not live to the public yet. That'll be 33rdparalleldefense.com.
Are you keeping secrets? I told you kept secrets.
Sir.
Well, we want everything to be perfect when we launch it. You know.
We're talking about a rail. Is there a place to mount a rail on that @1 stock?
Hours out of the entire day.
Scottsdale and Shea. We should have our store fully stocked. I'm hoping by 1st of June with ammunition, firearms, primers, and powder. We're going to add more products as time goes by as we get going. But our main focus is primers of all sizes: small pistol, large pistol, small rifle, large rifle. We have our own manufacturing facility. When fully scaled, we'll be able to do about 500 million primers a year.
Wow.
So we're really looking to reinforce our primer supplies, as well as gunpowder. We do have our own powder mill. It's a global source. It's double base smokeless ball powder. We're going to have pistol and rifle. They'll be in our own jugs. It's our own branded stuff. And we're going to be selling it through other distributors as well throughout the country, and Arizona and Texas in the beginning. But the main place to get it all is going to be Scottsdale at our store.
Very cool. Are you going to have various sizes and shapes and calibers of dies?
Yeah, we're probably gonna get into stock in a little bit of the reloading equipment, but we're more looking to be the ammunition and ammunition component suppliers for all the reloaders in Arizona, and small and large.
What do you think your top selling platform is going to be?
I really believe that our MP5 variant 9mm pistols semi-automatic pistols will be very popular, especially with all the AR pistols, which have become very popular. Everybody kind of likes to have that AR firepower and a portable package. The MP5 does that with a 9mm, and of course, being in the great state of Arizona, you can put fun things like 60 or 100 round drums on it.
Yeah, for now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That 91 will be pretty popular.
Yes, the 91 will is 308 semi-automatic. It's there's a battle rifle of the German military and most of the European militaries today.
Yeah.
It's a 7.62 by 51 308. So you could technically go hunt elk with it. We'll sell a 5-round magazine.
It's a great round. Some of the folks that I know that are professional LAO SWAT snipers are pretty hung up on 308.
Well, the Marine Corps still thinks pretty highly of it, and they've been using it as their designated sniper calibers since, I believe, the early 70s.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And they have no problem reaching out and touching people at over 1,000 meters.
Yeah. If they can see you, something's not going to grow back.
Yeah, that's a lot of the shooter too.
Yeah. Outstanding. You and I, Tim, during the break, we're talking about a rail. Is there a place to mount a rail on that @1 stock?
Well, the one I was showing you it goes over here. So it's a one piece. So it's a Pictonini. It's going to stabilize that, and it actually just kind of notches up and goes through here. It's kind of hard to explain on the radio, but it covers the bolt.
You're live on stream, so you can point to it. Where's it going to go?
It's basically from here to here, where you have the scope rings are mounted. It's going to cover that whole area. So you'll see the rail going all the way from there to there.
So it's going to be on the side of the scope or the stock?
Right on top of it. It's going to be a platform here. It's going to go right over, it's like basically a cap. It's going to replace these here. Go all the way from here to here.
Oh, okay.
So, something like that will sit. Of course, it's not going to be this, but it's pretty close to this size. It will sit on the.
And that will deaden a lot of
The
harmonics.
scope
too.
will mount to that. Yeah. Yeah. And it looks nice. Kind of got that tactical
Okay.
look that everybody likes.
Well, one of the things we're gearing up for a feral hog hunt in Oklahoma, and they've suggested to bring a light because we're going to be shooting at night. And I have the light. It's a high intensity green light that reaches out there. So, Dusty,
free flow barrel, free floated barrel from the factory probably saves you a bunch of time as a gunsmith from
Yeah.
dragging that all out.
Definitely.
So you don't have to sit there with a chisel.
Yeah, I wasn't going to tell him about that, but yeah, that is a good point. That cut down on the labor considerably.
Tim, you're one guy I want to have no secrets with.
All right.
Okay.
Well, that
Jared,
was the only one.
we won't tell him squat, but you and me,
Got it.
fellows.
Got it.
Well, Dusty, give us an idea. How do you guys build these stocks? What's the age of the wood? How do you coat it to keep it from expansion, contraction, all that kind of thing?
Gotcha. So some of our wood starts in, so our hardwoods, like I won't mention our maples and stuff, some of those trees they're knocked down now and we won't see them for 18 months just because it takes so long to dry them. We dry them nice for content and stability and everything to get rid of that warp and to make sure it doesn't warp and doesn't crack and is solid. Some of our laminates, those are a little quicker because they shave it so thin and then glue it up. So there's a lot of man-made processes in there to dry that out to stabilize that. But when they come in, they're just a solid block of wood, and we just get the order. Like, yeah, Don, when it was the last time I was on there, we placed the order right online on the Sunday morning, and Monday morning I went down there at 8:30, and it was already partway through the process. That's just how our thing works. So they grab the block of wood, throw it into machines, and start turning it into a gunstock. So all of our inlighting and shaping is done on CNC, so it's really consistent, really, really clean, hand sanded and hand finished. So it kind of puts that craftsmanship back into it, and it just looks and feels right, and that's what a lot of people like about our stuff. So the stuff that needs to be done critically is done critically in CNCs, and the look and feel, which is just a craftsmanship thing, we're still doing that all by hand. So, and we just build it to order. So we just took the order down and just went through, said, okay, now one thumb hole, this Weatherby, and just built it up. And at the end, out came your stock. It was made for you. Didn't have it on the shelf or anything. And that's how we do for every single gunstock maker.
Give the listeners, we talk about length of pull. I've had several emails and forwarded your information to the folks that are asking, but a lot of folks don't understand length of pull. Can you describe that for them?
So length of pull is kind of a mix between science and art. So in the older school days, they used to measure from your trigger finger to your elbow, and that would tell a rough thing. But ultimately what length of pull does is get your head in the right position on the gun stock so you can run the trigger and look through your optics clearly. So if you're too long, you're going to be too far away from that trigger and too far away from the scope. And that's where you'll start to see people moving their head around, trying to get a good picture through the scope. Or if it's too close, you get bit in the forehead like I and many, many other people have done, and you're just bleeding out in between your eyes. So that length of pull, and the thing that I like most about it is I can pull the gun up and look directly through searching for the
what we do,
anything.
Dusty, doing what we do,
Yep.
the gun has to fit. You don't have time to be wiggling around trying to find a damn crosshairs.
Yeah, especially if you get some of these hunting situations, you may be out in those mountains all week for 3 seconds, and you don't want to spend that 3 seconds looking for crosshairs.
Exactly. Have you got any questions or comments, Jared?
Yes, I just wanted to tell him this is just this AT1 thumb hole is an absolutely beautiful stock. The fit and finish on this stock is above most of the other stocks on the market that I've ever seen, especially with this much ergonomic adjustment. I mean, the Weatherby should be buying these stocks from you and selling them like this. That's how beautiful this looks.
Yeah, off the shelf.
Awesome. Yeah, we got some stuff with Weatherby, so we do work with the manufacturers as well. So sometimes if you guys go to like Bass Pro or Cabela's or whatever your gun stores are, if you look around and see some walnut or laminate stocks, sometimes if you just flip them over, it'll say our name right on the bottom of them. So because we work with them, because they do see that they're nice, and it's what people like. But thanks for the kind words on that. Is there's like 90 people at that plant, and every single person touches every single stock, so that that work is a testament to them. And we have some people that have been there 25, 30 years